So good evening, guys, and yes, slide visible.
Yeah, visible.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Good. Okay. So let's start. Okay. So today we are going to know, see about a new session, which is supply chain management. So let me ask you, how many of you know, are working in the supply chain industry? Anyone working in any of the supply chain industry or a logistic company or an agency or industry or in retail? So all this comes under supply chain. In distribution, in procurement, like any one of you, like in manufacturing or production or in assembly line. So like any one of you, you have a supply chain operations experience.
Yes, myself in logistics.
Okay, you're in logistics. That's great. So, which field of logistics you're into? I mean, only the
Um,
transportation, or you take care of the documentation?
Including documentation, door to
You're
door.
into documentation. Okay, okay. That's great. That's great. Okay, fine. So, what is the supply chain and what is logistics? You might have heard this term supply chain and logistics. So, both are not different, they are interconnected with each other. Um, I would say logistics is a component of supply chain. So logistics means it's a transportation of something. It's a movement of like a goods or information or a service. So from one point to another point, if like the goods or like the information or a service given by a company is like moved to the customer, it's called as logistics. So wherever there is a movement, you can state it as a logistics. Whereas supply chain is a bigger concept. So logistics is part of a supply chain. So the chain of the supply from one point to another, and then from that point to another, like that's called supply chain. So how does a company like go with uh, producing, manufacturing the goods and selling it to its customer? There are a lot of there are many number of many players on this supply chain. This thing. The first one, is a company, obviously. So they will be, designing or planning which product they have to supply in the market. That is, sell in the market to their customers. So they go with this planning of the product. I mean, how the product should look like, or how the information should look like, and what should be the price, which is our target market, who are our target customers, how much budget should be allocated for each and every operation. So all this planning will be done on the first basis. So the very first component of a supply chain is planning and designing. Okay, so which product you have to sell it to the customer, where you have to sell, and whether it's online or offline selling, and if it is offline, where you have to sell, which part of the world you're planning to sell, at what price you're willing to sell to the customer, which target customer you're focusing on, or which target market you're focusing on, and what is the shelf life of the product. So all this comes under the planning, the cost budgeting and everything. So once the picture is ready, okay, after planning, after the strategy and everything, once the picture is ready, now comes the execution part. So first you have to procure the required materials for manufacturing the product. You have to know resource, you have to check for the resources available for the procurement process. So you have vendor suppliers who will supply the products for your manufacturing thing, and you have to select the right kind of vendor. Like they have to be um little nearly located so that they can easily supply the products to your location whenever you demand for it. And the price has to be negotiable, and the product, the raw material quality, it has to be like a good quality. So all these things matters. So price, location, and the frequent supply. So based on these criteria, you will fix the supplier or a vendor or a group of suppliers for your product. Okay. So once procurement is done, then comes the transportation. So from the procurement zone, the product, the raw materials has to be transported to the factory location for manufacturing or production purpose. So transportation, there the logistics part comes. So the first time the logistic is happening in a supply chain, that is from the procurement zone to the factory location. So once it has been supplied, then you will know, like the company will decide upon how to manufacture the product, what process, what technology they have to use to manufacture the product, and how many workers are required, how many machines are required, how many days are required before supplying the product to the market before the upcoming season. So all these things would be already planned, and as soon as a product comes into the factory location, it would be stored at the storage area. If at all a warehouse is available within the factory location, that is within the production unit, the raw materials will be stored there. And whenever the production is happening, no, the required raw materials would be taken out from the shelf and supplied it to the machines. So the machines they manufacture the product, or it can be a semi finished product or it can be a finished product. When semi-finished product are being manufactured, so there is again another process of assembling all these semi-finished product to a single whole product, a complete finished product. Because you can't sell semi-finished product as a finished product, you need these components to assemble in a way so that it becomes a complete single product. So once that is done, so all the units which has been produced, it will be stored in the warehouses. So from warehouses, it goes to the market through the marketing channel. So again, there is a transportation from the factory location to the market. That is through it can warehouses or the companies can sell the product through wholesalers or through market agents or through the distributors. So from wholesalers, retailers will procure the product. Retailers will buy the product. Then again, transportation, logistics is happening. So after retailers acquire the product, they display in their retail stores, online store or offline store. They display the product, so virtual display or visual display. Then consumers like you and me, we finally go and purchase a product. So there is a difference between customer and a consumer. I have no mentioned it, in various sessions. So a customer is a person who purchases a product either for their own consumption or for reselling purpose. Whereas consumer is the person or an individual who purchase the product for their own consumption. They are not going to resell it. So that's the difference between customer and consumer. Customers can be consumers as well. If they are not using the product for themselves, they can be consumers as well. But consumers are only consumers and not customers. They are not going to resell the product. So this whole process of the supply of the materials from one zone to another zone, or from one process to another process, or from one location to another location, it's called supply chain. And managing these operations is called supply chain management. Now, finally, when we get the product in hand, we cannot call it as a product. We call it as a product. But no, it has various names in different stages. When it is unprocessed, it is called as raw material. And
Ma'am,
when it is in the, yeah.
are you changing the slides or still one
No, no,
slide?
no, I'm not changing. I'm not changing. I'm
Yeah,
giving
sure.
just an introduction.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. So, yeah. When it is in the unprocessed stage, it is called as raw materials. Okay. So when it is in the factory floor or in the production unit, when it is undergoing the production process, it's called work in process inventory. And once the goods are processed, semi-finished or finished, once it is processed, it is either called semi-finished goods or finished goods, or semi-finished products or finished products. So once these products, that is semi-finished or finished products, is stored in the warehouses, these are called as stock, because it has completed the production. So the Products, the units or no, like which is ready for sale, that is called as stock. Whereas inventory, it refers to all types of products, that is all type of materials, whether it be a raw material or whether it be a work in process inventory or whether it be a semi finished goods or whether it be a finished goods, everything is called as inventory. But where do we mention stock? Which items do we mention stock? Only the finished products which are ready to be sold in the market. So only those products we mention it as stock. So when it comes to warehouse, it's called as stock. Then from that place, when it is moved to the market through the marketing channels, and when it is no like ready for display, no, for the consumers for no like buying, it is called as merchandise. So the products with complete packing, packaging, labeling, barcode, and everything, no, like with the price, everything, no, mentioned on it. So when it is no like displayed for the sale purpose in the retailer's showroom, it's called as, whether it's online retail or offline retail, so it's called as merchandise. So the product has different names, and when it is being transported, it's called as cargo. Whether it's no like inland transportation or no like export, when the product is in the transportation, it's usually called as cargo. So no like this is the various names, no like we give it to the products, no, whether it is a raw material or work in process or no like a stock, whatever. So where it has the various names. So as it crosses the different stages, so it is no like called in different names. So hope I have given no like a basic picture about this supply chain and logistics. Yeah, clear? So if you have any doubts, you can ask now so that we can know like move on to the next slide. Because if you are not clear about the basics of supply chain and logistics, then the remaining topics, no, it would be no like a something no confused for you. So no like if you have any doubts, ask now itself. You will clear the doubts and move on to the next slide. Yeah, it's clear. Okay, good. Okay, yes. So let's move on. What is a supply chain in terms? A supply chain is a system of organizations, people, activities, information, and resources involved in moving a product or service from supplier to customer. So, who are suppliers? The vendors. It is a supplier of the raw materials. Supply chain activities, it transforms, no, converts the raw materials into and components into a finished product that is delivered to the end customer. Now, when I say no, like these raw materials, work in process, stock, semi-finished, finished, no, like you can take few examples. So raw materials, no, which is completely unprocessed. Crude oil is a raw material. Milk is a raw material. Egg is a raw material because we don't do any process on these things. Okay, so it's in the raw form. That's why it's called as raw material. Whereas the other things, no, like processed, semi-processed or processed goods, no, it is no like called as uh, guys. Make sure you're no like muting the audio. Mr. Murugan, please mute your audio because I could hear the background noises. Yeah, thank you. The supply chain activities transform the raw materials and components into a finished product that is delivered to the end customer. So raw material examples, no, like I was mentioning, milk, water, and eggs, poultry products, and meat, and you can say, no, like so these are no like it's in the raw form. Crude oil, these are in the raw form. Vegetables, fruits, all nuts, all these are in the raw form. So you can mention these as a raw material. Sand is in the raw form, unprocessed one. Rocks, yeah, coal, it's no like unprocessed one. So all these things comes under raw materials. Then components. What do you call as components or semi-finished products? Which has no like which is half done. That is no only if you assemble these components, it becomes a whole product. Take an example of a car or a two-wheeler. It has various components, spare parts, right? So each spare part, each component is no like a semi-finished product. So you cannot no like mention no like point out you know like a fuel tank and say it is a bike. Like there are many components in a bike, right? So completely you have to assemble it. So that's the difference between manufacturing and assembling, or production and assembly. Manufacturing or production, no, it refers to the conversion of the raw material into a finished and semi-finished product, into a component or a like complete product. Whereas assembling is arranging or assembling of these components into a complete product. So this is the difference. So supply chain comprises of suppliers, manufacturers, warehouses, distribution centers, and retail outlets. That is not the facilities. It is called as retail facilities. Then we have raw materials to work on, work in process inventory to work on, and the finished products that flow between these facilities. Now, this is how it is done. Take an example of, say, a furniture. Take an example of a furniture, a chair. So what are all the materials, like you can see in a chair? uh, it can There is a wood, there's some wood, and there may be some metal, and screws, and you can say cushion, then the foam, okay, for that sponginess, foam, and dye. Okay, so the dye, the color, like given to that foam, or the like the resin or the cover, whatever it is, and the paint, which is painted on the wood or on the metal, and the varnish, like if it is a metal product, they will like varnish it, and what else, like could be the raw material, gum. You have to like stick everything together. No, if it is like a wooden furniture, you have to stick the furnitures together. So strong glue or gum is required. So all these are raw materials, and the suppliers of these raw materials will not be the same person. Gum will be supplied by a different person, different vendor. Steel, the metal will be supplied by a different vendor. The cushion will be supplied by a different vendor. The cover, the chair cover, like that would be supplied by a different vendor. The paint would be supplied by a different vendor, and the dye. So different suppliers, they supply the product, and the factory acquires, procures these different supplies and store it in their storage location. And this storage location, which is otherwise called as like a warehouse, it will be very closely located to the production unit or to the assembly unit, because anytime when there is a requirement for production, they have to easily immediately they have to like take it from the shelf. So this storage location will be closely located near the manufacturing zone within the same premises. So after the manufacturing is done, again it goes to a storage, but this time as a finished product or a semi-finished product. Then from the storage unit, it goes to distribution in the market through the marketing channels, that is through wholesalers, distributors, market agents, and then to the retailers. And then finally from the retailers to the customers or the final consumers. So this is how the supply chain works. So plan, source, make, deliver. This is the whole concept of supply chain. You can see, like how all these components are, networked with each other. So suppliers, like they supply the products to the factory location as well as to the manufacturing zone, whatever it is. And the manufacturers, like they supply to like different. They deal with like different things and different products. And you can see the warehouses. Everything is like so. Everything is interconnected with each other. So supply chain management. We have seen what is supply chain. What is a managed? Like how like supply chain is managed. So it deals with the linking the organizations within the supply chain in order to meet demand across the chain as efficiently as possible. So management is managing the supply chain is all about managing all the activities, each and every component in the supply chain process. So we have to make sure as a supply chain manager or as a supply chain executive, a person has to ensure there is no delay in the delivery of the product to the final consumer. There shouldn't be any delay, nor from like when the products are transported from the procurement zone to the factory zone. There shouldn't be any delay in the production. There shouldn't be any delay or bottleneck, in supplying the materials to the market, offline market or online market. And there shouldn't be any delay, when supplying the transporting the products and delivering the products to the final consumer. So the managers know like roles and responsibilities, the supply chain managers responsibilities, make sure all the operations are no like smoothly running, smoothly happening, and all the operations are streamlined. There shouldn't be any no like breakage, or there shouldn't be any bottleneck. So why it is so important? Let me ask you know this question. Let me put it in this way. Why do you think no like the company has to know like procure the products in advance? Why don't they wait for the customers no to ask for a product, then they can go for procurement, right? Depending on the customer's choice. So why do companies know like procure everything, forecast everything in advance? Yeah, your answers. What is the reason?
Madam,
Hmm?
continuation. Because of the material you purchase as per planning to meet the project and the so that's why the schedule the time.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
that's why the planning. So proper
Okay.
timing to finish the project.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Any other inputs?
Some of the material is long lead item, so we are procure as much as earlier. Also the availability of the market.
Good, good. Availability of the materials, no? When it is available, it's better to procure well in advance. Yeah. Or otherwise, no, like sometimes the resource may go off. It may get exhausted. When there is a requirement, it may get exhausted. That's a good point. Good. Any other reason? The prices of the raw materials, no, suddenly, no, like it may surge. It may increase. So when the price is low, or when the price is no like economical, usually no companies procure it in advance, no like, and no keep it in their storage. So that is also a reason. Yeah. Then to stay ahead in the market. Okay. So when a customer will be like so happy. So you're a customer, I'm a customer, you have like purchased from like online and offline stores, and I too have like done that. So when you have like placed an order for a product, whether it's offline or online, you're going to buy a product, you have placed an order for a product, you have demanded the product, when you will be so happy. You're ready to pay the price, no, whatever it is, no, like mentioned, you're ready to pay the price. You don't have no like any negotiation thing and all. You don't have to have it. You're okay with the price. You're ready to purchase it. But when will you be so happy as a consumer, as a customer? No, like when will you be so happy? You're in the purchasing process. Yes. See, I feel as a consumer, as a customer, I will be feeling so happy if the product is delivered to me as soon as possible. I'm ready to pay the price for it. So I need the product in my hand as soon as possible. That's what I need. So if the product is delivered to me, like as much early as possible, like I'll be a happy customer. Whether it's a wrong product or like defective product, like that is different, like that is something different. So only after receiving it you will come to know whether it's wrong or like a right product. Okay. So before that, so how a customer will feel? You place an order online, okay, and like you want to like consume the product, make use of the product, like within this by this upcoming season, like Onam is upcoming, so you want to like consume, use the product for this Onam. So you're placing the product now. They say the delivery, like time is like maximum, like 1 week to 10 days. But you get the product after Onam. So how will you feel? You don't feel like receiving the product. Don't feel like purchasing the product. You don't feel like buying it again from the same like retail showroom. Like if Amazon is like delivering the products very lately, it cannot like withstand in the market. It cannot withstand. Or like Amazon is like delaying their distribution process, like, yeah, it can't withstand. So a happy customer is like who like who receives the product like as soon as possible. Okay, so how the products will be, like immediately delivered to the customer only if it is readily available in the shelf, right? So only if the product, finished product is readily available in the shelf. So as soon as the customer has placed the order, immediately you can take it from the shelf, pack it, send it to the customer's address. But if the product is not available in the shelf, so you're telling the customer, first you place the order, then I will like supply like all the items you demanded for. So few products the customer will accept, like few products, of course, this will like take time if it is a customized product. The customer is asking for some customization, obviously the customer has to wait. But if it is an uncustomized product, a generic product, a general product, you can't make the customers wait. What happens is immediately they will jump to your competitor's product. Okay, so this is a reason, like why companies go for like procurement, production, warehousing well in advance instead of waiting for the customers to place the order. Then like going for procurement. That's a very long process. Customer will not wait at all unless and otherwise it is a customized product. Clear? So now let's see the points. Why managing the supply chain is so important. To gain efficiencies from procurement, distribution, logistics, to make outsourcing more efficient. Yeah, now I have to mention about the outsource. Uh, Outsourcing is an activity, where you are, like giving out your operations, your brand operations or your management operations or your production operations or your company's distribution operations, you're asking an external party or agency or a company to take care of it. So they will be doing the process, performing the function on behalf of you. You will be paying them. So this is called outsourcing. So you can know, like as a supply chain company or as a a company in a supply chain industry, you can outsource anything. You can outsource procurement. You can ask someone to procure the products for you. That procurement like department or the procurement manager or the agency will be known an expert in the market, expert in procurement. You can ask them to procure it for you. You can pay the procurement manager. Like you have outsourced the procurement to an outside agency. You can like outsource the transportation because like you don't want to take risk in buying transportation trucks and vehicles in your company's name. You don't want to go for it, so you want to go for an outside agency. So you are hiring a transportation agency or a transportation company, asking them to do the transportation on your company's behalf. You are paying for it, so you have outsourced the transportation. You can outsource the manufacturing also. Because like if you don't want to invest heavily in like having a manufacturing zone, production zone, setting up a factory or setting up a production zone, like looking for a land for setting all these things, you don't want to take risk in those parts. Very well, you can like outsource it. People are there, manufacturers like who takes up the job work, they are there in the industry. And you can outsource the packing and packaging, warehousing. You can outsource that. And you can like even outsource the distribution part, not the final distribution to the consumer or the customer. You can outsource. So um, so where were we? Yes, to meet the challenges of the globalization and longer supply chains. So since it is a like a global market, especially after like this globalization was implemented in India. So now we have become like global consumers. We're not only using our products, our Indian products, but we are using the other foreign country products as well, right? So you're like a global customers, consumers. To meet the new challenges from e-commerce, because e-commerce like now it's like rapidly like developing. So we have to meet the challenges to manage the complexities of supply chains. Many things like comes under this complexities list. The country, the economy of the country, the political system of the country, the buying factor, the buying behaviors of the like the citizens or a population, and their psychographic factors, their sociographic factors, everything comes under these complexities. To manage the inventories needed across the supply chain. So you need to know how much inventory you need. So again, I'm know like what is an inventory? What are all the inventories? Raw material is an inventory, work in process is an inventory, and semi-finished and finished goods, that also comes under inventory. So you have to manage all these inventories, no, to keep, no, like to keep the supply going, no, to keep the operations, no, streamlined in this supply chain. So these are the reasons, no, why managing the supply chain is so important. So supply chain drivers, which drives the supply chain? Logical drivers and cross-functional drivers. When you take logistical drivers, you have this inventory, transportation, and facilities. You need to have an inventory to transport. You need to have a transportation vehicle or facility to transport. And there should be facility. Facility in the sense from one point to another point. So from which point to which point, no, you're transporting the products. When it comes to cross-functional, it is not completely internal department function. It is the information to all the stakeholders about the product, about the brand, about the price, sourcing of the materials, pricing, fixing the price for the products. No, all this comes under cross-functional. So supply chain strategy and drivers, responsiveness and efficiency. So first thing is responsiveness. That is quick response to the market. If there is a change in the market, no, like suddenly the company has to respond to the change. If they wait for some time, they're not going to know like stay in the market for a very long, because now market has changed. Now a new trend has emerged in the market. So there is no other way but for the company to switch on to the new trend, new policy or whatever. So immediate response to the market's demand. So when we say market, no, like who's the market? So these customers and consumers are the market. So they know like put forward the demand to the companies. So companies supply the demand, supply the products to satisfy their demand. So quick responsiveness should be there, and there should be efficiency in each and every supply chain operation. Otherwise, what happens is there will be a lot of wastage. Wastage will be happening if not properly planned, if efficiency is not followed. So how to implement a supply chain strategy? First is identify the demand types. Like do a thorough research in the market and know like come with the solution is with the of know like what actually the customer know like wants. What is their demand? So what they actually want, whether they need a new product or whether they need different product from the same brand or different product from different brand, or whether they need an upgraded product, that is no the enhanced product of the older product, or they have bought the product but no they have a difficulty in using it, so they're asking for no like like I mean no like another product no to compensate the lost one. So what is their demand actually, like what they are asking for? So identify that, study the market no like thoroughly. Second is understand the product portfolio. So if the product is mobile, no like now mobiles are in demand, so the company has decided, management has decided no like okay mobile is going to be our product. Understand that product portfolio, how you want your mobile to look. Okay, so in what colors would you like to give your mobile? You have no like different color variants, and the size of the mobile, the screen size of the mobile, the features in the mobile, how many cameras, and what should be the price of the mobile, and whether there is a no like a facility to no like integrate AI and this and that newest technology and everything. So whether the mobile features no it can implement everything. So understand the product portfolio, how you want your product to be presented in the market. So product portfolio is, if you think about no like an Apple iTop, Apple computer, the complete features of the Apple computer no it should no flash in your mind. So that's how the company no represents their product portfolio. No customer locations. So identify where your customers are. So laptops are not bought by no like younger children, right? Only the parents buy for them. But there is a age limitation. So like very young children, they don't require laptop. But no like when they go to higher classes, they require laptop. Then retired people don't need a laptop. So you don't have to know like target your marketing campaign on the retired persons. That is no like above 60 or above 70. No, you don't have to target. And below 10 years old, no, you don't have to target because no, they don't require laptop. Whereas the other, the consumers or the customers in between this age, no, so they require laptop. So you can focus your target your customers, no, and then you can do the marketing and advertising part. So know the customer locations where you want to position your product, and then manage the inventory. So you might have your company might have like procured like the raw materials or the components required for manufacturing and assembly. So manage the complete inventory. If management is not, if the managing the inventory is not done like properly, there will be a lot of wastage like happening. Then finally, know your suppliers location. So identify your suppliers location. So the management, you decide like which is the best supplier for your not for procuring the raw materials. The supplier has to be like in a very close proximity, so that whenever you, the company, the production unit ask for the products, immediately they should be like ready to supply. And if in case the supplier is from like say other country, the suppliers are from other country, but the manufacturing unit is in different country. So obviously, that there is a wait time because the product requires that the final product requires that raw material which is manufactured, which is being produced in the other country. So these things like it has to, you have to like keep it in mind. So supply chain strategy has to be first drawn and then go with the plan execution. So inventory, all raw materials, work in process, finished goods, supplies required for creation of company's goods and services are called as inventory. Number of units and value of the stock of goods held by a company. So inventory, yes, it has its monetary value and it is like mentioned in the accounting books of the company. So when we say inventory, inventory is seen in different perspective by the different people in the market. So if you take these employees in warehouses or in the production units, so they mention the raw materials, finished goods, semi-finished goods, and work in process. So these products, these goods as inventory. So for them, this is the inventory. If you take management, like the top management or the like employees of the company, so for them, especially for the management, company's management, the founder, the shareholders, or whoever, like for them, uh, all the components, including the manpower, is inventory. All the physical components, all the assets, physical components, including the stock, plus the manpower. So they know like everyone comes under, everything comes under inventory in management's perspective. But since they have this perspective, the management or the accounting people cannot mention manpower as an inventory or stock in the accounting units. You cannot represent the manpower as an accounting concept, because inventory, it always refers to the non-physical units. That is like what do you say, non-human units. So those are called as inventory. So in accounting terms, manpower doesn't fit under the inventory. But in management's perspective, management's view, manpower is also an inventory. And in accounting terms, like furniture and like land, building, so these and all comes as assets, stock, everything comes under assets. But in like management perspective, these are all the physical components, all these like manpower, furniture, everything, it's like they like list it under a general concept called the inventory. So why inventory exists? Because of mismatch in demand and supply, and to support a firm's competitive strategy. That's why companies always go for like procuring and storing the inventory well in advance. So what is the impact of inventory on material flow time? So whenever it is required, immediately it is supplied, whether it is to the production unit or whether it's to the warehouse or whether it's to the market, immediately it has to be supplied. Now let's see the next. Okay. So what is the role of inventory in the competitive strategy? What is a competitive strategy? So, like how best is the organization than their competitors in the terms of inventory. If responsiveness is a strategic competitive priority, locate larger amount of inventory closer to customers. If cost is more important, inventory can be reduced to gain efficiency. So when companies deal with no like economical priced or no like lower priced inventory, then that's different. But if the cost of the inventory is no like much more, then it can be reduced to gain efficiency, because the companies know they cannot take risk by procuring more high valued inventory. The inventory is so costly, the price of the inventory is so high, you cannot take risk by procuring more inventory, high valued inventory, because what happens suddenly if there is a change in the demand no in the market, or the customers have no lost interest in no purchasing the product from you anymore, or the competitor has launched the same type of product just like your company's product but with the competitive price, a little lesser price than yours. So what happens? Obviously, these consumers, customers will switch on to the competitor's product. So whatever you have procured, no, like everything becomes a dead stock after some time, or you have to know like sell that those things out with a no like a discount, with no like offer. So it will be a no like loss for the company. So it's always good for maintaining no like a limited inventory in case if the inventory, the value of the inventory is so high. So why do we need drivers for inventory? Inventory drivers are consequences of certain supply and demand characteristics like product desirability, responsiveness, supplying complete and accurate information, customer collaboration, getting visibility as much as we can from our customers. So then we have is demand variation, forecasting accuracy, demand planning, demand and supply synchronization, service level capacity, lot sizes, order sizes. So all these concepts, no, we will be seeing in our upcoming sessions. So no, like don't confuse yourself. Just go through, no, like have a view about no like all these drivers. So I'll be no like explaining it one by one in our upcoming sessions. So lead time speculation, customer service level segmentation, network design, and data accuracy. Okay. So why do we need drivers for inventory? So product desirability. So if a customer is no like asking for a particular product, desiring a product, so all the components with related to the product, no like only without those components, it cannot be a complete fulfilled product. So to make it as a fulfilled product as demanded by the customer, you need to have the required inventory. Responsiveness, for immediate response to the market, you need to have the inventory. Supplying complete and accurate information, no? For that reason, you need to have the inventory because you have to report it to the top management. Customer collaboration, no? Like for collaborating with your customers to make the customers stay with your company for a very long time, that is they should keep on buying the products from your brand only. So for that reason you should know like have inventory in advance. Getting visibility as much as we can from our customers. So if we supply the products no like immediately whenever the customer demands for it, so no like it's good for the company. So getting visibility, so the company stays in the market for a longer time, be visible in the market for a long time. Demand variation, there will be always be like a variation in the demand. So the demands cannot be like the same all throughout the year. For season there will be a little rise in demand, and when it comes to trend like a sudden trend has emerged, the demand will shoot up, because like right now that's a trend that is not happening in the market, so the demand will suddenly shoot up. But on normal days, the demand will be like very normal or average. So demand variation happens. So to keep the supply going on, as per the variations, you need to have the inventory well in advance. forecasting accuracy. Your company might have forecasted how much will be the demand for the upcoming season. To supply for the upcoming season, you need to have the required inventory well in advance. Then comes the demand planning. So for planning the demand, you need to have inventory. Then supply planning also, you need to have inventory. Then demand supply synchronization. So you have to supply the products. It should equal the demand in the market. There shouldn't be any overstocking. At the same time, there shouldn't be any out of stock situation. So both should not happen. So if there is a demand for 1,000 products, the company should be able to provide the 1,000 products. If there is a demand for only 200 products, the company should be providing only 200 products. So service level capacity, for setting the service levels, you need to have the inventory well in advance. Lot sizes, order sizes. So consumers like you and me, we buy the products in unit numbers. That is we buy 1 or 2 or 3. So we buy, if it is a mobile, we buy 1. If it is an AC unit, we buy 1. If it is any furniture, we buy 1 or 2 sets. So maximum we go for unit numbers only. But the customers, that is wholesalers, retailers, distributors, market agents. So these customers who resells the product from buying from the company, they don't go for unit values. They go for lot sizes. There is 1,000 units or 5,000 units or 10,000 units of product. They go for lot sizes. So if you want to supply to those marketing channels, you need to have an inventory well in advance. Then is lead time speculation. What is the lead time? So lead time is otherwise called as market time. That is the time taken between placement of an order and the supply of the order. That is for example, now you're placing an order tomorrow morning by 10 a.m. So from that time, the lead time starts. From that point, the lead time starts. And the product is delivered to you tomorrow afternoon by 3 p.m. So the time between these two, variations, that is called as lead time, market time. So the time taken by a product to reach the market. As soon as the order is placed, the time taken by the product to reach the market or reach the customer. That's called lead time. So for speculating the lead time, you need inventory well in advance. Then is the customer service level segmentation. So you're segmenting your customer, right? Not all the customers are equal. So chocolates are more bought by the younger generation, not the older generation. And these pension plans or insurance plans are bought by the little older generation, like 25, 30 plus generation, but not by the younger generation. So the service level segmentation, so that happens. So for that, you need inventory. And finally, network design and data accuracy. So for all these things, you need inventory. So what is the data? So data is something, which is a conversion of an information. So you have collected the information from the market as a feedback or as a suggestion. So you have all the information in your hand. You're feeding that information to the system, and that becomes data. So based on this data, you're making some decisions. So that's called data-driven decision making. So you're making a decision based on the data stored in your software or stored in your system. And from where the data came, it came as an information which was collected in the past. So that's called data-driven forecasting or data-driven decision making. So clear? Yeah. We still have time. We still have 5 minutes more. So you can ask any doubts if you want. Okay, so there is a question from Hiba Ashraf. How exactly does accurate demand forecasting help reduce the need for holding excess inventory, especially safety stock? So there are various processes, techniques available, Hiba, for no like controlling the inventory, having a control over no inventory. There are various techniques available. You can have economic order quantity, so that is a technique. And so that is about no like normally how much a company should know like place an order for an inventory on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis. So there is a calculation for that. We will see it in the later topic. So just like economic order quantity, you have this FIFO, LIFO, first in, first out, last in, first out. So if the company has a strategy of no like selling the products uh, on the basis of FIFO, that is first in, first out, that is whichever inventory has come on the first basis, so that will be sold out on the first basis. That is FIFO, first in, first out. And if a company follows LIFO strategy, it means whichever product has come latestly, that is supplied to the market, because that latest supply is the trend in the market. So this is also no like strategy techno, I mean the technique for no like to know how much inventory you should know like the company has to hold. So there are many ways no the companies no like work out for holding the for no controlling the inventory. Clear? Okay, so any other doubts? Okay, good. Yeah, no doubts. See, supply chain, no, like it's like a vast sea. It's like an ocean. So there are many fields, no, like within the supply chain. Many, no, like I would say there is an n number of no like components, n number of no like stakeholders are involved in the supply chain. So the company is there, the no like the suppliers are there, the government is there, the tax authorities are there, transporters are there, and you have this when it comes to transportation, you have various transporters. You have air transporters, you have sea transporters, you have no like rail transporters, and you have road transporters. You have drone transporters as well, because no like right now that's a trend. Drone delivery, no like that's a trend. You have no like those type of transporters. So those are the no like components within the supply chain, the players within the supply chain. You have these manufacturers, you have this warehouse no like people. There's the agencies or the companies, warehousing companies. You have this outsourced companies, and the third party companies no which provide logistic services to the main company. And you have these distributors, different distribution channels. Finally you have retailers, and then you have customers, and then you have consumers. Packing, packaging, no, that's a separate industry. That's a separate industry which comes under supply chain, because no like all the manufacturers don't do the packing, packaging, labeling by themselves, because no like they don't have time for that. And usually manufacturing no like companies no, they don't have no like this packaging experts no with them. That department doesn't exist there. But in warehouse you can no like see the packing, packaging department, because that is done mostly in the warehouse or in the wholesaler or retailer unit. The packing, packaging, labeling, barcode attaching, fixing, no like all these no like it is done other than the manufacturing zone. So that is a separate industry, packing, packaging, and no like labeling. So and then no like who else you have here? You have this harbor people, port people. You have this airport people, airport operations, no like because that's happening, right? So you have this airport people, you have the seaport people, harbors, customs, no like custom officials, no like they are also part of the supply chain. You have this documents, no like as Mr. Sudar said, no like he is working in the transportation this thing in document logistics thing. So documentation no that's a different field, because when companies don't have enough time or resource for no like documenting all their functions and activities, they outsource the documenting activities to the outside agencies. So documentation no like that also is a component of a supply chain. Then customers feedback, no, finally, the reverse logistics. The customer is not wanting the product anymore or doesn't like to know receive the product because no product was delivered late or product is a damaged product or it is no like product lately delivered or it is a wrong product. Instead of no sending to the right customer, the product is sent to a wrong customer. So the wrong customer no didn't want to use the product because they haven't ordered for it. So because of any of these reasons, no, there would be a reverse logistic. That is, customer will send back the product to the warehouse or to the wholesalers or the distributors. So handling the reverse logistics part, no, that also is a component of a supply chain. And feedback. Feedback is very important because you have to get feedback from your consumers. That is the people who use your product finally, and you have to ask feedback from your customers as well. That is the company's customers. Who are the company's customers? The marketing channels. You have to ask their feedback as well, because only on the based on the past feedback the company has collected, they will be planning for the next season. Clear? Okay. So with this now, let me stop it here, and we will see the remaining in our next session. So yeah, I can still stay for 2 to 3 more minutes. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, if there is no doubt, we can end up the session for today. I'll meet you next week. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.